Hello, students. Can you see where I am? I'm at a horse barn. A horse farm, even. I could call it a horse barn or a horse farm. And you can see the place I am has a lot of horses and a lot of land. This is a farm because the people who own it work with horses, they raise horses, they take care of horses, they train horses, they ride horses. Hi, Roxanne. So if you look at this gate, this is a gate that we can open to let the horses in and out of their pasture. This area where the horses are living outside, inside this fence, is called a pasture. Not a lot of grass right now because it's early spring. So I'm walking over to another pasture, a different pasture. And here's a gate that's keeping the horses inside this pasture. And some horses live in different pastures. Not all the horses live together. Some are friends and some are not friends. So they have to be in different pastures. But horses, they can be best friends with each other just like people. Some horses will get very upset if they do not get to be with their friend. You can see these two horses out here. See them? They really want to be friends, or they want to be with their friend. Here's some horses over here in a different pasture. This fence right here keeps them separate from these horses. These horses live over in this pasture. So the horses live in the pasture for part of the day, and they live inside the barn for part of the day. They each have a stall that they live in.
Wait! What is a stall? A stall is a room inside a barn. Each horse lives in a stall when he or she is inside. Just like your room, the owner works to keep the stall clean because the horses cannot clean it themselves.
They stay inside when it's really cold or really snowy, but they love to be outside the most. So they live outside and they live inside. So we can talk about what horses eat. What do horses like to eat? Well, horses really like to eat grass. They eat grass all day long. This horse is reaching over the edge of the fence, eating the grass next to the pasture. He's not really supposed to do that, but they sometimes do that. He's very sneaky. Let's go in the barn and we'll see what else horses eat. Let's talk about what else horses like to eat. We know that horses like to eat grass all day long. They also like to eat hay.
Not hay, hay!
One of the barn managers just now feeding the horses. But you can see this hay. Hay is like a dried plants, different kinds of hay. But horses like to eat hay too. And so in every horse stall, there's a pile of hay when it comes time to eat. You can see that one. Here's another one over here. So horses like to nibble on hay when they're in their stalls because they can't eat grass. Horses also like to eat grain And you can see right here, here's a bowl with their grain in it. And grain is kind of like little pellets of stuff. Here's some grain that's fallen out of a bag. I can show it to you. They're little pellets of like oats and molasses and protein, and sometimes they put vitamins in there so the horses stay healthy. So we know that horses eat at least 3 things, right? They eat grass, they eat hay, and they eat like pellet grain. And they drink water. They drink a lot of water. So in every horse stall, we have hay, we have grain for dinner, and they have a bucket of water. Because big horses drink a big amount of water, and water is very important for their health. These horses are running in for their dinner. They get very excited about dinner time. Watch out. That is a very large horse. One of the biggest horses here. Let's take a look at this horse eating. Hello. So this horse is eating the grain in the bowl. Remember things that we have in the stall, right? We have hay in the stall, we have grain in the stall, and we have water in the stall. Comes a cat. A lot of barns have cats, and there are cats here too. Barns have cats to help with mice or rats or, oh, here's another cat. There's 2. We saw 2 cats, and look, here's the 3rd cat. It's hanging out. Cat. So we see horses at this farm, and we saw cats at this farm, but here is a neat piece of machinery that a lot of farms have too. This is a utility vehicle that they use in place of the tractor. So some farms have tractors. This farm has a utility vehicle, and they use this piece of machinery to haul things around. In this case, they haul, this is called a manure spreader. They haul the horses' manure, their bedding from their stall that has their poop and their pee and hay and some pieces of food, and because we have to keep the horses and their stalls clean. So they clean them out, put it in here, and they use this utility vehicle to take it back into the back of their field, where they have a special place where they they dump it to keep it clean from the horses. And this barn manager is using a wagon to move hay, because carrying hay is heavy and it requires a lot of work. So she uses a wagon. And there are lots of other tools on farms. Here's a wheelbarrow, and we put things that you can't use in a wagon, like the shavings that we put in their stall, you put in a wheelbarrow. And there's lots of buckets on the farm. They use buckets for all different kinds of things. Here's shovels. There's lots of shovels and pitchforks to move the hay and to move the shavings and the manure. So lots of tools on a farm as well as the animals.
Students, I hope you've learned a little about horse farms and horses. We talked about where horses live, what horses eat, and some tools used on horse farms. I'll see you next time.